Good day. Today we're going to be covering residential assisted living profits. We're going to discuss the profit potential of four, six, eight bed facilities, which can be done usually out of a residential single family home. This is this is the what they call smaller size. Anything under 16 beds is considered small assisted living. So we're going to be discussing the smaller side assisted living facilities, but as an individual operator, there's huge profits to be made if done correctly, and not even at at the super high end scale. A lot of people think that they have to have these um ultra luxurious facilities to make good money, which you don't. You don't have to have ultra luxury facilities to have a great environment for families and the seniors. So we're going to discuss a little bit about the opportunities this here and yeah, let's get into it. You probably heard of assisted living. It's a growing industry that provides housing and care for seniors who need some assistance with daily activities but don't require full nursing home care. But do you know with one well-run home can actually run, what you can actually earn? The numbers might surprise you. So let's look at these numbers. Real numbers, real income. From a standard six-bed assisted living home, charging 4,000 per resident, which is not a lot of money when you're looking at what families typically pay for home care. Say if they kept them in their home, they'll be paying significantly more than this. And this isn't considered like a high-end facility. This is more like a mid-range facility. So you're not in most markets, you won't be the highest, you know, offer. You'll be like the medium to lower range offer, but you still have an opportunity to create, like I said, a great environment at these prices. So if you have six beds, which you can usually do with a four-bedroom home, you can have six residents. Each resident pays monthly for quality care and housing in a comfortable home-like environment. With a monthly fee of 4K, you're looking at full capacity, you're looking at 24K a month, which is really good income. If you think about it, one resident is going to pay most of the bills for the house, the utilities, and most of the supplies, and possibly the food. So with one resident, you're gonna have your mortgage paid, all your utilities paid, and all of the food costs and supplies, and probably still have some money left over. So I mean, depending on how much your mortgage is. So there's just a lot of money here, and you don't have to think about, you don't have to say, oh, I need to get this super luxurious home. I'm not saying get a beat up home or, a fixer-upper in a horrible neighborhood. I'm saying like medium, middle class neighborhoods with nice, quiet communities with access to certain, resources in the community like parks, YMCA's, senior centers, stuff like that, just locally. It doesn't have to be next door, but locally, and then obviously close to medical facilities in case of emergencies and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, you don't have this is mid range. This isn't like top dollar by no standard. Revenue snapshot, the monthly income based on six beds. This represents the total income before the expenses are deducted. Obviously, substantial revenue for a small scale operation. With consistent occupancy, this creates a reliable income stream that can be scaled with additional properties. So this is a great entry point. When you think about 24K a month at full occupancy, and just say for example you maintain 80% occupancy for the majority of each year, you're still going to be making good money. And with this money, using our strategy of leasing the first property, you could definitely be looking to purchase the property that you're leasing, or going into the next property, the next facility that you want to do, because you definitely want to scale this business and get multiple properties as you grow. So and you also want to think about the fact that most of the people who do this business are usually like larger corporations and institutions and stuff like that. So they're used to seeing this kind of money. But you, as a single operator and a small staff, can really do this as well. So that's where there's so much, meat on the bones, because this is usually done by, larger corporations, bigger franchises, um, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of opportunity that just most individuals just don't know exists. So that's why we're bringing this information to you, so you can know that there's a lot of money to be made in this industry for single operators. Breaking down the operation costs, say you got mortgage, food and utilities, um, payroll, supplies and activities, and a vehicle. So look, so we breaking down the mortgage. We got $2,000. One second. So breaking down the operational costs, you got $2,000 for the mortgage, food and utilities, say 1,500, payroll 7,000, supplies and activities 1,200. That's transportation and events, and taking them out, getting the things that they need, all the things you need around the house, from your soaps and detergents and pads and sheets and blankets and napkins and everything. All of this stuff adds up. And then also, if you got a house vehicle like a little van or something like that, we budget 4,000, I mean $475 monthly for that, and then that's your total expense of $12,175. So that's what we're looking at for that. So that leaves you with a net monthly profit of 20 of $11,825 for your net monthly profit. This is a basic scenario, but this is easily done in most markets with 6 beds, with six residents at full capacity. So, yeah, these are just the numbers, and and again, these are conservative numbers, believe it or not. The national average is like 3,200, but that's taking in like really rural areas and really low income areas. So like most most of the country, when you're thinking about doing this stuff, is you're going to be probably in the major metropolis, major urban areas, or like major suburban areas. Like for example, in Maryland, you're not finding a family's not going to find anything lower than $4,000 a month. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these are like really conservative numbers. So then you look at a annual profit for one house is 140,000. That's 11,000 times 12 of passive income after all expenses are paid. And we say passive income because you're not actually working here. I would suggest being an operator, not hiring a full-time operator, because you want to definitely be the operator and manager, well, I should say the assisted living manager over this property. So that's one less bill you have to pay when you're thinking about hiring. Your staff structure is going to consist of your assisted living manager, which should, like I said, should be you. Um, your nurse, which is not that's just PRN. She comes as needed. And she does like 45-day visits every 45 days. So you're not paying her like hourly. So you got your manager, your nurse, and then your caregiver, your med techs. So you got your manager, your nurse, your caregivers. Your caregivers, I would suggest hiring one as a live-in. So finding a property that you can have 4 beds and then like an extra living space, maybe a basement or like an upstairs in-law suite or something like that. So that's going to be a live-in caregiver, and then also the that's it. And then probably one part-time, caregiver for the daily activities, to help with the daily activities. So the dubs you do have the living caregiver get some rest. And that's your staff structure. So four bed, six resident facility. And things you don't need. You don't, a lot of people get stuck and say, oh man, I gotta be a nurse, or I need some kind of certifications, or I need some kind of degrees or something like that. Now, let me tell you this. Maryland, if you're listening and you're in Maryland, Maryland just updated their Kumar, so their regulations to consist that they do want you to have now the assisted living managers and operators must have a degree, a bachelor's degree, or 2 years of experience in the healthcare field. So if you're a caregiver, you've been a caregiver for 2 years or more, and you want to do this, that you qualify. You don't have to go get a bachelor's degree. But if you have no experience in the healthcare field and you're just jumping in as an entrepreneur, you're going to need to have at least a bachelor's degree in something. It doesn't have to be related to assisted living per se or the healthcare field per se. They didn't specify, but they want to definitely make sure you have a bachelor's degree and also the 80 hours training, and then all the other requirements that you need to have. So I just wanted to add that little caveat. And then again, we say no medical degree is necessary. Just a blueprint and a plan. With the right system and guidance, you can establish a profitable assisted living home that provides excellent care while generating substantial income. That's just what it is. Why it works, the simple formula. Assisted living equals housing plus help. You combine two essential services that seniors and their families desperately need, like desperately need. This is not like in most cases, you're going to be dealing with families who have no other option. Um, the loved ones, maybe the children, or sometimes I've been running into a lot, which is kind of sad. A lot of families, a lot of seniors that don't have children, and they just have like a friend as a POA. Like I just got a client recently who the POA is her like friend. Um, Another lady who just passed it, we had, her POA was her husband's nephew. She had no kids. So you run into that a lot. And he doesn't have the capacity to, take care of her. The lady who we just got, she doesn't have the capacity to take care of the our client. So they have the, power of attorney over their resources. So they find places like us, people like us that can actually help them take care of their family member or their loved one in an assisted living environment. So, this is not like a luxury or something that they can, pick and choose. Like they have to have this service. Because even when you think about home care is more expensive than assisted living for families. A lot of people don't understand that, but most families are going to pay more for home care services than assisted living because for the most part, if they stay at home, that means they still have the bills from that house. Somebody has to still pay those bills at the house. They still have to pay the water, the electric. If there's mortgages, it's probably not, but if there's a mortgage, they might still have to pay a mortgage. And all the other bills that come with the household. They have to still be cooking and cleaning and doing all those other things that when they get an assisted living, when they put them in assisted living, they no longer have to pay those things on top of home care. So you're gonna have to be paying all of these things for your housing on top of paying for home care. So that's what makes the assisted living, option makes more sense to a lot of families and a lot of operators or people who are trying to get into this business don't understand that. They think, oh well, nobody can afford assisted living just because you can't afford assisted living right now in your life that you looking at this money like who can afford $4,000 a month, which is not a lot of money. Um, or 5,000 or 6,000. I have a friend of mine who's charging $7,000 a bed and he's getting it a month right here in Maryland. So, um, these numbers are real. We're not just putting them out the air, and this is the industry that you're in. And you got to remember, you're offering food, board, room board, privacy, security, that's the basics. But then not only that, you're offering 24-hour medical services. So like it's like a little, nursing home, because the level of care that you're providing is everything that they need outside of a hospital. So you're helping them with their, you know, managing their, dementia. You're helping them manage, if they're diabetics, you're helping them with their diets. You're making sure they're getting their meds. All of your staff has to be um med tech, so they have to be able to pass meds and be trained in that. So the steps are: you lease the house, find an appropriate property that meets zoning requirements and can accommodate six residents. So when we talk about accommodating six residents in a four-bedroom, we looking at the sizes of the bedroom, the size of each bedroom. As long as two bedrooms are above 120 square feet, which is not big, you could put two residents in those two rooms. You can't put more than two residents in one room, but you can have two residents in two rooms. And then you have the other two rooms for a single. So you'll have two bedrooms, semi-private. So that's two in each room. So that's four, and then two private. And those bedrooms only have to be 80 square feet. So if you got a four-bedroom, most four bedrooms can accommodate six residents. And most four bedrooms have at least two baths. And a lot of times, the master bedroom in most four bedrooms that I've seen have a private bath. So at least two of the residents will have their own bathroom, and then the rest of the residents, the other four residents, will be sharing that second bathroom. So, and then ratio to bathroom, is 8 to 1. So you can have up to eight residents in one bathroom. So you're way below that ratio. So what you do, you hire the help. Like I said, you hire qualified med techs, certified caregivers to provide the necessary assistance for the residents. Like I said, you want to at least hire one live-in, and then you get licensed and you keep the profit. You maintain quality care while generating substantial monthly income. It's that simple. It's not a complicated thing. It's simple, but it's not easy, because at first, you have to make sure you're doing everything correctly from beginning to end. Setting up your business structure, finding the right property, getting licensed, staffing, getting residents. Lease a 4 to 5 bedroom. Um, this is the path to success. Finding a suitable property in a residential area that can be converted to meet assisted living requirements. Get licensed, navigate the license process with our proven step-by-step system that minimizes headaches and delays. Fill six beds at 4,000 a month. Implement our marketing strategy to attract residents and maintain high occupancy rates. This is the path to success with this. We're here for you. Everything covered by your revenue. So you're not going into this business where you feel like you have to, come out of pocket. Like most businesses, you have to, spend a lot of money up front before you start making profit. This isn't that. Okay, you're going to have to maintain that lease or mortgage for the first, say, 4 months. Budget 4 months of mortgage payments while you're getting the license. That's why, again, I recommend doing a lease, so you can kind of work when you work with when you work with a landlord. They can give you some grace. Say, hey, look, they already know you're leasing it for the facility to do the assisted living. So they'll give you, hopefully you can negotiate. Well, just make sure you try to negotiate. Hey, look, the first three, until we're licensed, can I pay this? And then once we're licensed, then, can I pay that? And we can kind of increase over time. And as long as if they can cover their monthly nut, which is probably their mortgage payment and a little profit, then they should be fine with that. Especially if you let them know that you can share profits later on, and if necessary, pay some back pay the back end that you didn't pay up front, pay it later, stuff like that. So everything can be worked out when you're working with a landlord. Because they're most of the time they're investors, which are business people. Banks is they just don't want to hear that. You're just gonna have to pay that mortgage every month, no matter what. So, but once you get licensed and set up and start having residents, everything is paid for by your revenue. You don't have to go in your pocket anymore. You're just managing the income just coming from the families. Your staff, your staff gets paid. You know your lease is paid, and your business is profitable. So, um, it's really basic. You're not working shifts. That your staff handles the day-to-day operations while you manage the business aspects. You're not trading hours for dollars anymore. Your income isn't limited by the number of hours you can physically work. So a lot of nurses, and just people in the healthcare field, they spend a lot of hours on their feet, on the at the bedside, working like these crazy shifts when they can be doing this. They have most of them. I really encourage nurses and home care providers that've been doing it for a while to look into this. Find somebody to possibly partner with if you don't have the credit and the down payment. Partner with someone, but look at this as an option for you. This is a real thing in most markets. It's not complicated at all. As long as you can find a suitable property, you get a license. The residents are there. The residents are there. So you just building cash flow over time, and each property, you're just adding to that cash flow over time, and it's just setting you up for a great retirement. It's more than income; it's an asset. An appreciating asset. A well-run residential assisted living home increases in value over time as you build reputation and occupancy. It's an income generator. With proper systems in place, your assisted living business provides consistent monthly cash flow with strong profit margins. Just work smarter, not harder. Focus on getting, a good management team, and grow while your team handles daily operation, maximizing your return on time invested. So what you're doing once you have that house set up, you immediately want to get back out into the market, and see what's out there for starting your next property. Once you're up and running and you got it figured out, even the person who you're renting from, landlords know landlords, investors know investors. He might have another property, or he might know someone who has another property, and you just keep it going just like that. Get to where you're doing one. If you're doing setting up one facility a year, you're doing excellent. You know what I mean? You'll be a millionaire in no time. If you're doing two, you'll be even quicker. So if you can do one your first year, then two your second year, then three your third year, come on, man. Y'all see what this is about. So you're not alone. We've helped dozens first timers get licensed, fill beds, and profit quickly. So our step-by-step licensing process has helped dozens navigate state regulations successfully without prior experience. So you don't have to have any experience for us to work with you. Our proven marketing strategies help you identify and attract ideal residents to maintain high occupancy rates. And then, once you're set up and you got the residents in there, most of our clients reach profitability within 6 months. Of opening their doors, following our established systems, and going with our recommended placement agencies and stuff like that. August special gets set up for 500. So right now we're running a special for license submission, zoning gameplay, and lease templates and support. So we're going to walk you through the entire licensing process, provide you with the policies and procedures that you need, help you with your business plans and stuff like that, walk you through zoning. We'll even help you find a property. If you don't have a property, we'll show you how to reach out to different organizations, landlords, and and Facebook groups and stuff like that, and what to say and what not to say to get these landlords to at least have a sit down with you, a face to face where you can talk to them and share your business model. So yeah, that's what we're doing. This is for August only. Um, Yeah, this is usually our $2,500 package, but we're offering it just this month for $500. So reach out if you're interested, and yeah, look to hearing from you soon. Peace.